Good evening, Valeriy Viktorovich.
Good evening.
Good evening, dear viewers, radio listeners and guests in the studio. Today is July 8th, 2019. One of the most popular questions posted on our website relates to Putin's visit to the Vatican. You have been asked to comment on that visit in general. Especially our viewers are interested in the gifts that were exchanged between Putin and Pope Francis.
First of all, there is no need to search for a conspiracy regarding this visit. All visits at this level, their agenda and schedule, are prepared and finalized in advance. Putin was, as always, late for the meeting, and the Pope didn't mind it at all. He didn't feel self-conscious about it. Here's the thing. The global predictor embodies himself into different personalities in different situations. For example, as Pope Francis in certain governance aspects. Only Putin represents the Russian globalization model, the Russian conceptual power, and also he acts like a statesman with all ensuing consequences. Putin's governing load is colossal. Putin runs behind schedule not because he is careless towards arranged meetings and can afford to be late. It is because of the governing load on Putin's shoulders. The Pope showed that he understands it in the episode when he insisted that Putin walk first through the doorway and Putin paid him back when he politely waited for the Pope by the chair and left the host to sit first. There is nothing special about this episode, but it shows mutual respect.
The host is the Pope, and Putin is the guest.
Yes, Putin is the guest.
People could think that the Pope is Putin's boss.
No. Hereby, the hosts mean the host side. Accordingly, while the host side, the master of the palace, was not sad, Putin, as an arrived guest, politely awaited to take his seat. Putin has to solve a huge spectrum of tasks. Anywhere he goes, he carries out several meetings. He went to the G20 summit. He combines it with a formal visit to Japan. He went to meet the Pope. He combines it with a formal visit to Italy. He solves several tasks in one place. Naturally, Putin and the Pope have many common agenda items to discuss the processes of superstate governance. These processes warrant sufficiently good in-depth discussion, not just a protocol meeting as it was between the Pope and Trump. 30 minutes is not enough. On the other hand, 60 minutes is sufficient time to sort out some issues if time is not wasted. That 1-hour meeting between Putin and the Pope was in principle substantive work. Maybe the discussion wouldn't have taken so much time if the Russian Orthodox Church finally, would enter the Western Europe's territory and would take under its wing people in Western Europe by bringing traditional Christian values and convictions. The Catholic Church is not able to do that anymore after the serious discredit campaign, and Putin mentioned it in his interview to the Financial Times. The world is at the threshold of being redesigned. New nations, new languages, new states will be created in Europe. The role of the Catholic Church as a tool in conducting suprastate politics will be transferred to the Armenian Apostolic Church. That process is underway for some time now. The Catholic Church was thrown under the bus, so to speak. But as a result of unforeseen circumstances, that plan had to be postponed, and there was a necessity to preserve current states in Europe and stabilize the situation in Europe as a whole. The Catholic Church is unable to play this stabilization role because after a full-scale attack to discredit the Church, it has no standing in European liberal society, where the main values are the values of the LGBT community, and where the main value is perversions that would lead to a human extinction on the planet Earth. The Catholic Church caved in and began to accept LGBT values itself. But the Catholic Church has the influence not only in Europe. The biggest impact of the Church is in third world countries, especially in Latin America. These processes need to be managed, and they are governed from suprastate level, in part through the Catholic Church. Accordingly, firstly, the megaphone of the global predictor, the Financial Times, gave Putin a platform to announce the new governing trend. Liberalism outlived itself. Liberalism means degradation and collapse of civilization, but at first, the collapse of states. So states must be stabilized. Liberalism must be rejected, and historically proven traditional values must be restored. Traditional values promote life in a society, and liberal values promote degradation and self-destruction of a society. The serious discussion is initiated worldwide, and at this particular moment Putin meets the Pope. The Catholic Church has lost a lot of authority, but the Pope's authority, nevertheless, is still very respectable worldwide. Once, when Stalin was talking with Churchill, Churchill said that the Pope's interests should be considered as well. Stalin asked Churchill how many divisions the Pope Vatican has. It wasn't a silly question. Stalin understood that with a population of 800 people, the Vatican has a set of attributions, especially on the highest three priorities of governance, which it has with abundance. The Vatican can govern interstate relations from suprastate level. Stalin wanted to subdue Churchill with this simple question. Churchill was not a representative of global suprastate governance. He was a representative of the British country elite. Churchill was taken aback by this question and couldn't continue the dialogue on Stalin's level. So the Roman Catholic Church is still a pretty serious tool, This is a global predictor's tool. We will come back to this tool of the global predictor in a moment. Look, what does another tool of the global predictor, the Financial Times? During Putin's interview, there is a background voice of global predictor. This is global predictor. We launch a new governing direction from superstate level, a turnaround to traditional values. All degenerative processes, LGBT, liberalism, are taken off. They are unable to solve new governance tasks that face the world. We need to go back to traditional values. And all degenerates, perverts can go to hell. And what gift is presented to Putin by another tool of global predictor? An official medal of the 6th year of Pope Francis' pontificate, marking the 100th anniversary of World War I, with engraving, "Nothing is lost with peace, everything may be lost with war." The message is to avoid military conflicts and solve problems by diplomacy. The Guardian Angel Medal. Imagine a representative of global superstate governance by presenting this medal states that Putin at present time, in fact, is a guardian angel of the world, of the civilization on the planet Earth. Global elite is compelled to take Putin into account because the scale and complexity of tasks that face the civilization on the planet Earth are so serious and massive that current superstate global predictor governance is unable to solve them. Keys to the future are in Russia. Only Russia can save civilization on the planet Earth. That is what can be said regarding Putin's visit to the Vatican and in Italy.
For more details, read one of our works entitled "State is a Survival System of the Nation."
This work has detailed analysis of Vatican, including an issue of quantity of Vatican's divisions.